Hey everyone, welcome to our 43rd episode of Brew Talk with Mr.Beer. My name is Robert, I'll be your host for today's show. Thanks for tuning in and taking the time to watch our videos every week. We've done them for 43 weeks in a row, approaching 50. That'll be pretty exciting, and we'll be approaching the 1 year anniversary of the Brew Talk series, I would say. I think the ones we do now are much better than the first one I did 40 episodes ago. Those were pretty bad. Maybe eventually we'll redo some of those, make them a little better, make them a little more fresher for you guys. Before I get started, like I said, always if you have any questions, topics you want to see us talk about, something you want to get Zach and Nash's opinion on, let us know. Message us in the Facebook group, message us on Facebook, chat on the website, shoot us an email to customer service, say, hey, I'd like to see you guys talk about this for one of your episodes, and we can definitely do that. We're always looking for new ideas, interesting ideas to queue up about some serious brewing knowledge and to help you guys learn some more stuff. Before we dive into our topic, what I'm drinking today, I have a Diablo IPA. It's a little dark, but it's a Diablo. It's supposed to be a darker IPA, but it has some citra hops in it, which is really, really good. This is Ashley made this a while ago when she doesn't really drink. She's gluten-free. She drinks gluten-free beer, but she makes amazing regular beer as well. So it's just a really, really good beer. All right, so I got notes today. Redoing an older blog post I did a while ago, and I've seen this question asked a lot of people that kind of want to make their own recipes. So our topic today is how to make your own Mr.Beer recipes. Now, on our website, obviously, we offer over 100 different recipes, a wide variety of styles, and anything and everything you could ask for. So before creating your own, I'd recommend just going and checking out our website, cruising through all 115 of them, seeing if there's anything that maybe sparks your interest or something that you're like, oh, I kind of want to use that, but maybe I want to add something different to kind of make your own. That's all about, home brewing is making your own creation. So taking something like that we've created for you, but then you want to add a different element to it to make it your own beer. You want to take a stout recipe we got and then maybe add, espresso beans or coffee shots into the bottles or whatever it is you want to do, or add some lactose or something to sweeten up a little bit. So, you can start doing simple things like that to build your recipe. Take something that we've built for you already and then just add on top of it. So it kind of helps you get used to what you like, what you don't like, and helps you kind of play around with how different things taste and hops and grains and malts and all that fun stuff. These recipes, they always provide just a good foundation of kind of what you need to get started. So the first thing you will want to decide before you start making your own recipe is what style of beer you will be making. This is obviously the most important part. Depending on what style you want to brew will help select the ingredients that you want to get started with. So you can choose kind of like, base styles, lagers, IPAs, stouts, etc. If you want to get real serious about your styles and figure out what goes into them, how they should taste, what they should be like, I'd recommend checking out the BJCP guidelines. So that is the guidelines, or the Beer Judge Certification Program guidelines, which is used by beer judges all over the world. So when you enter like a IPA into a certain category, it should have these certain characteristics and certain tastes to it. These are what these beers are judged upon. So if you're not sure about the style or what taste you should be going for, definitely reference that as a great place to get more information about styles and beers and stuff like that. I'll help you know what flavors you should have, what appearance, how the beer should look, color-wise, all that stuff, which is really, really cool. And if you have like a commercial beer that you're trying to clone, like, we have our clones on, obviously. We're always working on adding stuff into there, but if you have something you want to clone, often if you just do some old Google in there on the Google machine about the commercial beer in mind, sometimes they'll kind of list the hops and grains and stuff like that they use, and you can kind of build it back to like the malt extract base, so you can chat with us and let us know. We can kind of help you out with there. So obviously selecting the style is the most important part. I thought that was pretty obvious, but that I'd hit on it. I thought the BJCP guidelines are some good information for you guys to look at and just kind of get familiar with the styles and what you're wanting to make. So that'll really help you narrow in on what you're really wanting to do and help narrow the list of ingredients for you to pick from. Now selecting your base malt. For this, I'd kind of go by two characteristics when you're picking this. I would go with color and IBUs. Color mostly related to like the lighter beers on the part. If you want to brew a light color, lager, IPA, pale ale, you want to take a lighter color base. However, if you brew like an amber or a stout or something that's big and heavy and dark, you don't have to pick a dark base, because you can get that color from grains and malts that are added later. So you can always pick a lighter base and add to it, but obviously you can't take a dark base and make it light. You can only just take a light base and make it darker. So just depending on, if you are wanting to brew, let's say if you look a lot of like our IPA recipes, we use, the Canadian Blonde, the Classic American Light, the Czech Pilsner, some of those as our bases, because they're our lighter beers. And then they kind of, as you add a little ingredients, they get a little darker, but they help maintain that light color. Golden ale would be a great base for that one as well. Shameless plug for the golden ale there. Should brew that one. So now we'll go on to selecting hops. It's probably the most fun part, I think, of any recipe is like all the different hops that are out there. I mean, the variety of hops are insane. I can't keep up with them. There's thousands, I think, upon thousands of hops. It's my rough guesstimate on my solid research that I've done. But it's always good to kind of, depending on what style you're brewing. So if you are brewing like an IPA or a pale ale, you're gonna make sure you're picking up a good bitter hop to get that bitterness out of there. And I also think it's always good, no matter what you're doing, to kind of add some type of hop for aroma. So if you just are brewing even like a big stout or heavy stout, we'll still try and put some hops in there sometimes because it gives that beer a little bit of aroma and kind of balances out a little bit, so it's not just so super malty and all that stuff going on. So like I said, good aroma hops you can add, late in the boil, let flame out, or dry hopping is a great way to get more aroma and the bitterness out of your hops. If you're curious about how to properly use hops, we have a Brew Talk series with me and Ashley about bittering hops, aroma hops, dual purpose hops, dry hopping, all that stuff, so you can learn the basics about how you should be hopping your beers and what you should be doing there. So I definitely reference those before you start, creating your own recipes. And also, before you pick the hops, do a little research on the style that you're going to brew. You can only find hop recommendations for that style. So if you want to know, I'd like to see bitter IPA hops. I want to brew this bitter IPA. We'll give you a list on somewhere on Google about bitter IPA hops that you can use, or you want to brew more like a New England style IPAs with all those aromas. I'll give you a list on there if you want to brew like a German Pilsner or stuff like that. They'll just give you the good recommendations that you need. So the Google machine is a great place to learn about things. So then you will want to decide what kind of specialty malts, adjuncts, or different things you want to add to your beers. Can be, our booster, dextrose, fruit, DMEs, LMEs, two-row, crystal malt, roasted barley, all kinds of stuff you can pick from. These are all adjuncts, specialty grains, all that stuff you can add to your beer to kind of pick up some different flavors for what you're going for. For example, I'm an IPA person, so if I was to brew an IPA, I'd pick a light color based malt. So I would do something like Classic American Light, and then I'd pick some bittering hops, maybe like Centennial or like Cascade or something like that. And then I would probably choose light DME, because then I can do my boil in that DME and get that bitterness out of those hops. And the DME usually won't darken your beer that much if you're using like a HME as a base and LME as your adjunct. Adding more LME will make your beer darker. So you will want to use something like DME, or you can even use Booster. If you go back and watch our video on boiling hops and Booster, it does work. Works really good. It keeps your beer super light. It's a good way to make some cool beers. If you're going to brew a big stout, maybe look for something like chocolate malt or roasted barley, or you can put like lactose or something like that in there to get kind of that milk stout flavor to it. But like I said, again, if you're not sure about what exactly you want to pick, you can ask us or just go to that Google machine that's out there. The last thing you want to pick is probably one of the most important, depending on the style you're brewing. Some styles you can kind of get away with using a few varieties, but the yeast you pick greatly impacts the flavor of the beer. So if you're brewing a wheat beer, you want a wheat yeast. That's going to create those unique flavors in the wheat beer. If you're brewing a Saison, then you want a Saison yeast to get those unique flavors. Some beers like stouts, you can kind of use like Nottingham. You can use SO4 or even SO5 or just a generic ale yeast like we do with our Cooper stuff. IPAs work great with USO5. We use that for most of our IPAs. So just do some research, and there's a ton of variety of yeast out there. You get from liquid yeast to dry yeast, all kinds of different stuff you can do, all kinds of different stuff you can use. What you want to create is very endless. So like I said, I recommend checking out our recipes, see if there's something you like in there, you're going to build upon them and start building your own stuff. I know a lot of people in the Facebook group, are adding honey and all kinds of different things and building their own beers, which is really cool stuff out the base can. So that is going to wrap it up for today. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this. We will post the notes about this if you want to reference it on our blog page, mrbeer.com/blog. You can find our latest post there. Also, there's a search feature on the blog, so you can search questions and you can cruise through, 4 or 5 years of blog posts that we've done. We're starting to revamp some of those, redo them, get them a little better content for you guys, make them a little more relevant for what's going on in the brewing universe today. Like I said, besides our blog, we post these on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Pinterest. So wherever you see it, like it, share, subscribe to our channel, whatever it is that channel requires you to do, please do it. We really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, join our Facebook group. Answer the 3 questions. If you don't answer the 3, we won't let you in. It's very easy. Just 3 questions. They're super simple to answer. Yes or no answers work perfect. That's it. So I'm going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys next week for our 44th episode of Brew Talk with Mr. Beer. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy some home brews. Cheers.